Hey nerdlings, welcome to Attack of Opportunity.
If you just reached into your pocket or pack to pull out some gear, you provoke an attack of opportunity. So before we jump right in, welcome to Mongers. We are so excited to have a YouTube channel, put our finished product up on SoundCloud after a severe amount of editing, and you can even catch us occasionally on Friday night, 7:30 EST, recording our sessions live on Twitch. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please follow us, please subscribe, and help us grow Rollmongers, actual play podcasts, and our behind-the-scenes look podcasts. Thank you. I'm Jeff Ball, and our first guest tonight, a fan favorite of our Star Wars actual play podcast, Dawn of Defiance, and a close personal friend of mine, Mr. Matt Witt.
Welcome to Attack of Opportunity. Hello, everybody.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Pleasure.
So the first question we love to ask is, do you remember the defining moment where you became a gamer, where you crossed over away from the normies and joined us? What makes you a geek, a nerd, one of us?
Pen and paper stuff, yeah, there was kind of a defining moment. I was a big gamer. I played RPG games and read a ton of fantasy books and stuff like that. But it was actually a kind of a jockey friend of mine. When I was like 12 years old, we were sneaking around in the sewers in my hometown, and we found this little alcove that was like creepy and dungeon-esque, and we set up candles and sleeping bags down there, and he was like, we're going to play D&D. We didn't have any dice. We just made stuff up, and after we did that, I was like, okay, I got to figure out what this was, because it was awesome, and it was super creative, and it wasn't long after that I went to a yard sale and found an old box of first edition D&D books and bought them all up and started playing with a few friends from school.
Wow, that's some full-on Tom Hanks Maze and Monsters movie. Let's go down where it's dark and dank and creepy, and that's awesome. I think our next guest's going to have a tough time topping that story.
Well, it was a unique experience, and it's something that stuck with me my whole life because it was cool.
Now, you mentioned RPGs, and I'm assuming you're talking about, because I know you, some of the video game RPGs, some of the old titles that were popular, but only to, the cult classic The Following, such as...
Oh, man, too many to name. I was a huge fan of Shining Force. It was a turn-based RPG. Then there was Phantasy Star, one of the coolest kind of crossover sci-fi. It had one of the best battle systems where your dudes could all they could queue up certain special moves and they combine them together and do a big move. It was just like revolutionary at the time. 8-bit graphics.
Yes, the 8-bit graphic era was a golden era of milk and honey where RPGs flowed into Commodore 64s, VIC-20s, and other starting out household consoles. Matt Witt here is quite literally and easily classed as the star of our Star Wars Saga Edition RPG podcast, Dawn of Defiance campaign. You play Rahal Oberys, if I remember this correctly, he is a former separatist noble who, after the war in Order 66, has sort of crossed over and is calling in old markers to emulate, with a little flavor, the wealth talent option for your noble class. What possessed you? What brought about the Brooklyn accent and the suit and the style? Like, what birthed the character for you?
To be honest, I don't know. It just kind of rolled out, and that's how, when we were talking about the character and building the character, it's just totally what I pictured. It was just like, yeah, he's totally a wise guy.
Because we were laughing about it and talking about the John Travolta strut and the John Travolta suits that he wears. And coin phrase, a fan favorite that still gets mentioned to me today, is what he lacks in stature, I believe you said, he makes up in machismo.
Yes.
How did you come around to machismo? Have you heard that somewhere before, or is that yours?
It's a fantastic word. Oh, I've heard it before. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly where, but it's a great word. I like great words.
I, for one, have been accused of making up or mincing my words, not being overly articulate, and frantically dancing around a subject to drive it home as opposed to being exactly concise.
Oh, sure, absolutely. He's a lounge lizard. You know what I mean? He's
A Leisure Suit Larry. That's a great old,
totally,
great old game.
Like, very much, like if Rahal was 8-bit, they would be twins. I think you're gonna take a 5-foot step.
From my left to right on my monitor screen, let me introduce tonight's cast of players. Matt.
Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm Matt. I'll be playing Rahal, shady ex-separatist noble who is kind of reeling after the events of Order 66 and what's happened in the galaxies. He was on the wrong side of the war, so to speak, and he's just trying to catch up with all of his
War
projects and contacts and war profiteering and
Put
trying
you on the
to
spot here,
keep his business rolling.
So going around the room, starting with Rawl, what does this gentleman see?
He sees an extremely well-dressed but very, very short individual, but what he lacks in stature, he definitely makes up in sheer bravado and machismo.
Machismo. That's a great last name for, something that you can say your suit was by Machismo. Are you human? Alien?
I am human.
Okay.
And as per my earlier description, I'm a shady fellow. I look very weaselly. I'm the kind of guy that you'd see in one of those Quentin Tarantino movies, Usual Suspects or something like that. Like you can definitely tell that I am not on the up and up, and I exude that. But on the same token, I have the ability to basically talk or lie my way through just about any situation. So. He just sees a very well-dressed businessman, and I say businessman with the whole air quotes.
Every time you describe your character, that's easy on the polyesters, guy. That's what I see in my head.
That sounds pretty appropriate. Yes, I'm very rodent-esque in my appearance, with and I tend to, when left on my own devices, I don't exactly have nervous twitches, but I definitely, I'm taking a look around at doing the whole Mr. Burns hand rub thing while I contemplate ways that I can make
crinkling
money
your nose as you look down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not so fast. I've got combat reflexes.
Rawl, Merrick, and Poser Sham. We're speaking in the cantina.
As we're walking out, and in the meantime, follow us.
2 men exiting, 1 man leave. 2 men leave, 1 man stay. No, that's not how Thunderdome works around here. It's supposed to be 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Too many people are leaving.
Haha.
3 modules later, let's switch ahead in time, and somebody gets a recording. We have the recording of those, insurgents, right? And and you can see the woman because she's the patient, right? You can see Maya that we've tried. We're looking for this, an Aldarian security agent that's, in contact with these insurgent rebels, and let's see their faces. There's you guys all gowned up with the surgical gloves and shit on, and going to town on her kidneys and putting her all back together, and and then there's the voices. Like Rawl going, so you want I should put that kidney back, or maybe she's got 2. We could sell 1 for credits. I'm just saying, the other doctor looking right into the camera of the droid. No, we're going to save both of them, damn it. Something like that. And you have the Imperial agents watching this recording, like going,
super dramatic.
Like, what the hell? No, he turns to the guy that brought it to him, and he's like, that guy's so fired, We have the only intel. She comes over the intercom, and she's like, I will give you $1,000 for 1 of her kidneys.
She don't need both of them, does she?
That would be another surgery, another hour. That just played out in my head really fast, and I do apologize. Matt Witt, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you, Jeff.